Welcome to I Hear Voices Theatre Company Presents, coming to you tonight from the prestigious Radio Hall. Lady Monarchs-to-be, and women who know your place. In this coronation year, is your prince consort limp and lacking in lustre? Has he lost his fervour for gratuitous blood sports and the propensity for casual bigotry, which is the inalienable birthright of all members of the British royal family and other Germans? Then, welcome to British mediocrity. However, help is at hand from those boffins at Wrong Quote. Just a few minutes each morning with his regal nose buried in a leather-bound copy of Wrong Quote will turn your prince from a flaccid...
sustainable, free range, architecture, lustre...
to an outright...
China! Don't bloody well go there, you'll come back all slitty...
I thank you. Wrong Quote. A handy, compact compendium of inappropriate, detestable, hate-filled, pseudo-humorous stereotyping and bigotry, guaranteed to raise hackles, tighten sphincters, and offend reasonable people the world over, and foreigners. Wrong Quote. A Himmler-Crippen-Haig product. And now, Himmler-Crippen-Haig presents... The Adventures of Bentley Strangetrousers. Bentley Strangetrousers and a Quantum of Sporran. A serial in 4 episodes. Episode 1. Something Heliotrope this way comes. Since the end of the Second World War and the bombing of Japan, when the United Nations agreed the Hiroshima was to be forever the international standard by which all bad things are measured, few things have been as bad or immeasurable as the story you will hear tonight. But that's amateurs for you. Britain, 1952 in old money and keep the change. Preparations are underway for the coronation of the Royal Elizabeth, when she will take up her late father's crown and formally be invested as the new King of England, Scotland, and assorted unmentionable parts. Up and down the nation, the jubilant peoples are tearing up their ration books. An unfortunate decision as rationing hasn't ended, but so keen are they to make bunting, which is also rationed, that these good, honest tillers of soil, drawers of water, and greasers of wheels throw caution to the winds and their legs in the air, the dreadful plebeianoics. The entire country is in a celebratory mood. Hey! And in homes across the breadth, length, depth, and height of the land, families for the first time can enjoy the regal investiture via the modern miracle of visual media. And the house of Mr. and Mrs. Kitchener is no exception.
Come on, darling. Put down your paper or you'll miss the broadcast.
Oh, yes, of course, my dear. Good heavens, Mrs. Kitchener. What is that large wooden box with a small glass frontage which has taken centre space in our living room?
Why, my dearest, it is our new television, provided to every household in the land for the purpose of watching the greatest event of our lifetime.
Surely it's not the test match already?
No, darling, it's the coronation.
The coronation? The splendid majesty and pomp of the formal inauguration of our monarch as head of church and state?
Yes, dear, that's the one.
Then in the name of St. George, put it on, my dear.
I was just about to.
My word, darling, what a modern miracle of science and engineering. Doesn't she look young?
I believe that's what's called a test card, dearest.
Then what on earth is the Duke of Edinburgh doing in it?
I think you'll find that's a toy clown, my dear.
Is it? How can you tell the difference?
Yes, enthralling scenes of thrilling enthrallment such as this are happening in every home. All industry has ceased, ground to a halt, minced to a stop, sashayed to a cessation, and been sealed for freshness to conclusion. Yes, folks, a seamless transition from motion to packaging puns. You'll have to be on your toes tonight. But nowhere is more less busy than the officers of MI5 and 7/8, who are to provide security for Her Majesty on the royal day, and no one more less so than Bentley Strangetrousers, top ace super secret special security service agent extraordinaire. And as our story opens, like the leaves of a long-forgotten cabbage, we find him at the headquarters of MI5 and 7/8, stalking the corridors.
Got you. That's one less corridor to roam free. Professor Lessimas, I've caught another one.
Oh, well done, Bentley. I thought I almost had it back there, but it suddenly turned a sharp corner and I lost it.
Well, this corridor won't be going anywhere now, Professor.
I hope it will, Bentley. It's the one that leads to the little boy's room.
What's with all this architectural roguishness anyway, Lessimas?
An unforeseen side effect of Professor Gratimas's brilliant construction of our mobile top-secret headquarters. Ingenious construction, but he just doesn't know when to stop.
Ah, my dear Hubert Lessimas, genius is like a beaver in a liquidizer. Once the button has been pressed, you can only hope to keep the lid on it. And I think you know what I mean.
No.
Oh, hello, Benters. Professor?
Ah, Leyland Odloons. There you are. I've been trying to get hold of you. I need you to get a message to the chief.
To Sir Royce?
If he's the chief.
Well, you know he is, Benters.
I never know more than I need to know. And right now, what I know isn't worth knowing. And you can take that to the bank and run it up the flagpole and see which way the sun's shining.
Can't you take it yourself, old boy? You see, I'm rather busy with this late order for coronation pencils.
How many times must I tell you, Odloons? We are not His Majesty's stationery office. That's all just a ruse or front to hide the world's most secret and deadly special secret security service.
What? But I've just confirmed delivery dates with a dozen parish councils. What if they cancel their orders?
Quiet! Don't mention money, or that weasel halfpenny from the Departmental Accounts Department of Accounts will be here, slashing our budgets like a whirling dervish in a tailor's shop. And I think you know what I mean.
Good heavens, yes, he's already after us in R&D since Professor Gratimas proposed replacing every accountant with a cartload of chimpanzees and an abacus.
But how was that cheaper?
Oh, it wasn't. Gratimas said he was just less offended by what they flung at him.
Oh. Oh, dear.
Well, excuse me, gentlemen, I'd better lock up these rogue corridors in R&D.
Bye! Now, Leyland, back to Sir Royce. I can't get in to see him.
Can't you, Benters? Trouble with the door handle again?
No, not this time. It's his secretary.
Miss Pencilskirt?
Yes, she's in season.
Gracious. Are you sure?
She's been spraying her scent all over the office.
Women and their perfume, eh?
And all over me. Smell my trousers.
Oh, dear me. Is that what that stain is? I thought you'd had another run-in with the sink. Yeah, she has rather got you, hasn't she?
Does that smell like a perfume stain to you?
Oh! Good heavens, no! Well, modern women, eh? Anyway, I'm sorry, Benters. There isn't anything I can do. I'm entirely swamped, what with the royal event.
Ah, yes, the nobility out in force. The streets lined with proles, foreigners everywhere. The glittering jewellery on display, the fabulous golden robes.
Oh, yes, and after the clergy comes the Queen. Won't she be a sight?
Leyland, when you've seen as much of the world as I have, you'll know a glamorous woman is a deadly trap. A snare for the unwary. Innocent, weak-chinned men like yourself fall at their feet and trip at their knees, collapse at their waists and subside at their bosoms.
But Benters, she is the Queen.
And I admire her audacity.
Anyway, old boy, I must get on. I still need to replace all the H's in HM that stand for His Majesty with H's that stand for Her Majesty. I'll be up all night. I simply don't have a moment to spare. Toodle pip.
Very well. Then I must face the music for whom the bell tolls until the fat lady blows the final curtain. And I think I know what I mean. Good evening, Miss Pencilskirt.
Well, well. Good evening, Bentley.
Is Sir Royce in?
Why, yes, he is. You want to see him?
If that's at all possible. Or I could come back later.
Well, it's very tempting to think of your coming again.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, poor boy. Do you want me to show you?
I think I'll just see the chief for now.
Yeah, let me get the door for you.
That's really not necessary.
Oh, it's no trouble, Bentley. It's a pleasure to help when there's a stiff knob involved. It's all in the wrist action, you see.
Thank you. I'll just slip inside now. I mean...
Oh, Bentley. Now you're talking my language.
Well, I'm not sure about some of the verbs. I'll just see if Sir Royce has a dictionary. Phew.
What? Who's that? Is that your mother?
No, sir, it's Strangetrousers.
Well... Just wait a moment while I review this visual phonic report.
Good evening. Or morning, possibly. Or indeed, afternoon, perhaps. Good, whenever you are watching this. I, of course, am Sir Professor Patrick Gratimas, M.A., Ph.D., B.A., Baracus, and member of His Majesty the King's own light alien dismemberment in the name of science and for the Empire Brigade. And this is my report on Operation Roast Beef, a special action commissioned by Sir Royce Weird Longjohns, head of MI5 and 7/8, to commemorate the coronation of Her Right Royal Majesty.
God save the Queen!
Thank you. Also in attendance are the so-called Professor Hubert Lessimas and the even more so-called Professor Marjorie Littlewoman. Lessimas, get on with it.
In honour of Her Right Royal Majesty, Operation Roast Beef will attempt to not simply convert or turn a foreign agent, but to naturalise him as an entirely authentic British citizen. Professor Littlewoman will explain the procedure.
Take one, foreign agent. In this instance, I'm using an agent spécial of le Service de Sécurité Française, but any will do. Here is a recording of what he sounded like before.
Oh, bonjour.
Agent Jacques.
Oh, Mademoiselle Agent Centime, tu es belle.
Oh, Jacques.
Oh, Jean.
All very disturbing and unnatural behaviour in an agent, even a foreigner. I'm sure you'll agree.
After capture, the agent was inducted into a 3-week intensive introduction to English course, comprising a heavy regimen of tea drinking, smoking non-ghastly cigarettes, being denied fresh bread every morning, force-fed fish and chips.
Taught manners, the imperial measures system, that not all animals are food, the importance of bathing, and the need for a monarchy.
From which I have achieved this. Agent, what about this weather we are having?
Goblami, c'est bleeding terrible, mon old Channer. The weather anglaise, the cat and the dog are not only reigning, they have established a hereditary dictatorship and a 5-year plan for tractor production. And I think you savez ce que je vous dirai. Now, where are my overboiled vegetables and my delicious yeast extract on burnt toast?
You will observe the transformation has been a complete success. Every trace of dreadful Gallicness has been removed. Thank you for watching, and congratulations on Her Majesty's coronation.
God save the Queen!
Who are these people? Decibas, get that lot out of here.
Come on, you lot, there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see.
Amazing! Gratimas has perfected a cure for Frenchness.
Hey, what? Who am I?
Sir Royce Weird Longjohns.
A pleasure to meet you, Sir Royce. Now, what did I make of that?
Most impressive, sir.
I should say so, if I knew what it was.
Sir, I wanted a word with you.
Which one?
Heliotrope, sir.
Ah, excellent. Very good. Well done. Thank you for your efforts. A grateful nation salutes you. Goodbye.
But, sir, I've more to say.
Hey, morning already? Miss Pencil Skirt, where's me bucket?
Sir, I think the fiendish Raoul Heliotrope, my self-proclaimed arch-nemesis, may still be at large.
Your self-abused Aunt Sissy has a barge? Good gracious, Strangetrousers. Whatever does she mean by it? Do you know what sort of trouble you've got this department into?
No, sir.
Well, you will if I can't find my bucket. Miss Pencil Skirt!
What is it, Sir Royce?
I want me bucket.
Well, you're sitting on it, Sir Royce.
Good heavens, so I am.
Had you finished, Bentley?
I hadn't even started.
Did he tell you about the ministry?
Our ministry? What of it?
The ministry's been demoted.
What? But why?
I think it had something to do with blowing up the king. See Bentley Strangetrousers and the Dance of Doom. Episode 4, A Village Fate Worse Than Death.
Halfpenny! From the Accounts Department of Departmental Accounts, you venomous miser. Where did you appear from?
Oh, well, I was just in Sir Royce's wallet, going through old receipts for adult nappies to write off as tax deductibles.
But that business of accidentally blowing up the king was over a year ago.
Yes, but people do tend to remember that sort of thing, Bentley.
We only just found out because we've not been receiving our post. It turns out Halfpenny here had sealed up her letterbox to reduce the financial implications of capital expenditure on worn-down letter openers.
So, what are we now?
MI 5 1/4. And that means we've lost the job of security provision for the coronation.
And a good thing, too. It was a luxury that this department just couldn't afford. All this running about doing things, it costs us a fortune.
But we can't, we mustn't. I believe Raoul Heliotrope is still alive and have plans to attack the coronation.
Heliotrope? Alive? What's your evidence?
Just intuition. Call it my woman's hunch.
Is that what you call it?
Miss Pencil Skirt, this is serious.
But Heliotrope was killed when his giant robot partridge was overcome by Greater Mass's giant unripened pear. See Bentley Strangetrousers and the 12 Plagues of Christmas.
I think that's just what he wants us to think. But I don't think what people want me to think. I think the thinks that others dare not thunk.
Oh, Bentley, you're so masterful. I want you now.
That's going to want emptying in a minute.
You're right, Bentley. Now is not the time. I'm going to put my faith in your little hunch. Quickly, run to Westminster Abbey and stop Heliotrope if you can.
Finished!
But where was Raoul Heliotrope? Had he really survived? Of course he had. What else do you expect in this sort of formulaic hack drivel? But where is he now? We know not yet. But first, let us wind the clock back and set the alarm for 3 months ago, whereupon we find a certain purple gentleman and a corseted pair of breasts on legs called Medea Black entering a dark, dank, long-forgotten chamber in Scotland. It is a fruit cellar.
Come, Medea, bring the torch closer.
Oh, Raoul, it's so dark and dank and cold. We could be so happy here.
Hush, Medea. I must find what I seek.
And what is it that you seek, my dark genius?
I shall know it when I find it, my buxom cohort.
And how will you find it, my Lord of Shadows?
I shall find it when I am not consistently harassed with foolish questions, my big-boobed bird. Now then, silence. Wait, what's this here? Light. Bring me some light.
Here, Medea.
No, you're Medea. I'm Raoul.
Here, my love.
Well.
It's a big, flat rock.
So, the legends were true.
What legends, my prince of anticlimaxes?
The legend that Jockey McJock
told me down the boozer t'other night of how he and Aberdeen Andy had stolen the stone of Scone and hidden it where no man would ever look.
A fruit cellar?
Well, they are Scottish. This is the stone upon which all monarchs of Scotland must be crowned, ever since it was taken to England by Mac James the Macfirst.
The stone of what?
Scone.
Do you mean scone?
No, I mean the stone of Scone.
But what does this have to do with us, my Lord of Darkness?
Why, long ago I came across an ancient document that proved that I was descended 360 times removed from the Royal Mary, Queen of Scotch, in an improbable but necessarily ham-fisted plot contrivance I had forgotten about until now. When I was recovering from my injuries, received at the hands of my arch-geet Strangetrousers, after my giant robotic mecha partridge was defeated by a gargantuan genetically modified pair, see, la-di-da, 12 plagues, etc., etc., I heard tell of a tale of the theft of the stone of Scone.
Scone?
And recalled the family legend that contained within the stone is proof of a secret bargain between King Elizabeth I and Mary quite contrary, a bargain that could overthrow the current royal line. And finally, after this long weekend of searching, I have found what I seek. Soon the throne of England will be mine, all mine.
That's nice, dear.
Reset your watches to now o'clock, and on the day of the coronation, we find Agent Strangetrousers threading his way through the thronging thousands who wait upon the arrival of Her Majesty's carriage outside Westminster Abbey.
Damn it all to Roehampton. I'm absolutely drenched in prawns and still no sign of the villainous Heliotrope. Perhaps he's already inside the Abbey. I must get in. Officer! Officer! Let me inside. This is a matter of national importance.
I'm sorry, sir. It's by invitation only.
You don't understand. I'm a member of His Majesty's top-secret Special Security Squad service, and I must get inside.
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't know anything about a top-secret security special squad service. If you don't have an invitation, you'll just have to wait out here with all the other plebs.
Damn it, you fool! You're putting Her Majesty's life in danger!
I don't know anything about putting Her Majesty's life in danger, sir. But what I do know is, if you ain't got no invitation, you ain't getting in.
All right, damn you. What would you say to £5 of the English realm?
It's good afternoon. Do you have an invitation? Otherwise, you're not getting in.
Wait, that's it. Where is the governor of the Bank of England?
He's inside, sir. The governor has an invitation, so I was able to let him in.
Well, this £5 note says he promises to pay me £5 in sterling. And I want it now.
Cool, blimey, sir, so it does. In that case, you'd better go inside. Right this way, sir.
Thank you, officer. You truly are an efficient guardian. Here, take this for your trouble.
Thank you, sir.
You join us now inside Westminster Abbey on this, the third day of the coronation ceremony, and the guests are now finally seated. And at long last it is surely time for the entrance of the grand procession. Yes, here it comes now. At its head the Abbey Beetle, and behind him the Palace Ant. Following behind them comes an exceedingly long line of men in dresses. The Bishop of Barking, the Bishop of Bashing, some other bishops, lots and lots of bishops, as many as you like. And now, the Grand Wizards. And don't they look odd with their flowing robes, tall, pointy hats, and curiously carved staffs? Sorry, no, that's more bishops. Here come the wizards now, and don't they look odd with their beards? Behind them come the druids of Her Majesty's Order of the Wicker Man. More beards there. And now come the dukes. The Duke of Marmaduke, the Duke of Earl, the Duke of Hazard. Behind them are lots of very, very old men indeed, some of them long since deceased, being wheeled on by their pages, and now some woofters. Their silk robes and sparkly hats of office twinkling in the abbey lights, and after them the masters of arms, Red Dragon, Scarlet Pimpernel, Green Light Bulb, Santa Claus, and the Easter Bunny. And here comes the royal auctioneer. Around his neck on a tray, a solid tray, he carries the crown jewels, the ring of power, the 2 bracelets of might, which, when combined, allow Her Majesty to take on any form she wishes, and the sword of vengeance, which feasts upon the souls of her vanquished foes, imbuing the monarch with their life force. And now, here comes the lady of the sweets as we have a short interval. I'll have a strawberry ice cream, please. There you go. And we continue with some brown people. Probably prime ministers of dark lands somewhere hot with deliberately not English names. After them, resplendently asleep in his ceremonial armchair of office, comes our own prime minister. It is, of course, Sir Wobble's bulldog, who single-handedly fought off the dreaded Hun from the very doors of this green and pleasant land we call, quite simply, Her Britannic Majesty's United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Well done, Wobbles. And here comes the Duke of Edinburgh, clutching his well-thumbed edition of a wrong quote, accompanied by the men of honour, marching in tight formation around him. Their role is to prevent the Duke from seeing any of the terribly foreign sorts here today, in case he says something frightfully undiplomatic, because some people just don't know how to take a joke. And here come the 3 knights of the realm, carrying the 3 sacred swords, the Excalibur, Exorbitantia, and X-Lax. There they go, holding them proudly aloft, like men who don't really have the faintest idea why or what any of this is really all about. And I think that's very much the mood of everyone watching today. And now comes the crown itself, the very crown with which the crown of the crown's head will be crowned, sat upon a pillow made of crowns. And now, the Queen. She's looking radiant today, and I'm sure she can look forward to top marks from the judges. I know she's been training hard, and her handlers have been very pleased with her progress so far in the paddock. And now the Archbishop begins the service.
And what is my bid on this fine display?
The Queen's champion, Sir Humbert of Hubert, steps forward and presents the Archbishop with the royal pawn ticket and reclaims the sword. But there are still plenty more prizes to play for today. The orb, the rod, the spurs, the Arsenal, and the West Ham. The spurs, of course, which the Duke of Edinburgh will wear when he ceremonially rides the Queen out of the chapel at the end of the service.
Sirs, I present to you Queen Elizabeth, wherefore all you who are come this day to do your homage and your service, are you willing to do the same?
God save Queen Elizabeth!
Madam, do you solemnly swear, will you, to your power, cause law and justice upon the land and in the air and under water and outer space?
All these things I do swear.
And an excellent response from the Queen there. It could so easily have gone wrong. Now the Queen signs the oath on the back of a royal fag packet, her only written contract with her people. Then she turns to the assembled multitude and gives the royal 2-fingered salute, the traditional gesture given by monarchs to their subject since King John signed the Magna Carta. Her Majesty is presented now with the Bible on which she swore that oath, and it is for the first time today presented by the moderator of the Church of Scotland, selected by the people of Scotland each year to be the only man in that country not to be an alcoholic. And he approaches the Queen, bows, and pulls his own face clean off. It's not the moderator after all, it's someone else. Someone quite unknown to me. I can only think he didn't go to a good public school. Presumably he's foreign.
I declare this coronation invalid.
Stop right there, Raoul Heliotrope.
Strangetrousers, how delightfully fitting that you should be here.
My lords, ladies, and other people in dresses covered in sparkly jewels, seize this man.
Not so fast, Strangetrousers. I am not here as some usurper. Oh, wait, that's exactly what I am. I come to claim the throne.
Thank you.
You, Heliotrope, claim the throne of England? But you're not part of the royal bloodline.
Not of England, perhaps, but I am descended from Mary, Queen of Scots.
I've not heard anything about it.
You weren't in that scene.
No.
And I have proof. Not only of my lineage, but also of this, a secret agreement between Queens Elizabeth I and Mary that will prove the throne is in fact mine by right.
Ha! You'll never get the chance to prove it. I'll throw you in the slammer before you can take your horse to water, and I think you know what I mean.
Oh, but I shall. Isn't that right, Archbishop?
I'm afraid it is, Mr. Strangetrousers. You see, we cannot allow this man to be arrested until his claims have been tested.
Is Raoul Heliotrope really Queen of Scotland and heir to the English throne? Find out in the next episode, The Retune of the King. Something Heliotrope This Way Comes was written by Damien Bell and performed by Damien Bell, Mary Boland, Sarah Jane Derrick, Darren Gooding, David Hughes, Jerry McKee and Richard Potter, with assistance from the audience. Music by Tina Gooding and Darren Tansley. Sound engineering and recording was by Darren Tansley. Foley sound effects were performed by Matthew Orchard. The audience wrangler was Dean Ucken-Jones. The podcast was recorded at Colchester Arts Centre and is an I Hear Voices Theatre Company production.